Hi everybody, welcome to this episode of the Lavaca County News Review podcast. Now, join your hosts, Murray and Michelle, as they bring you the news from all the newspapers in Lavaca County, Texas. Okay, Murray and Michelle, take it away.
Hello everybody, this is Murray back with you, and we are going to review the 19th and 20 issues of all the papers in Lavaca County. And Michelle's here. What do you say, Michelle? You all right?
I say I'm doing great.
All right.
It's Wednesday. Papers are out.
There you go. It took some work, but we got her done, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a week.
All right. Well, let's start off with the Shiner Gazette, and I'll let you take over from here on that one.
All right. Well, I love the city of Shiner, and a lot's going on. Early voting doesn't just start for Shiner. It does start all over Lavaca County, but just a reminder that does start next Monday. So get out and vote. Also, we had the big car show and volunteer fireman cook-off. It got moved to downtown because we had just a little bit of rain. So they had a great spot downtown, and the best of show car is on the front page of the Shiner Gazette. It's a 1955 Chevy 210 by Mr. Chris Mott of Victoria. So he won best of show. So congrats to him.
Yeah, Mr. Mott, he makes all these car shows, and I think he's got more than one car. He's got quite a collection. And when I was going to the Shiner car show, only once while I was going did we have to move it downtown. So they got a pretty good record of. Usually what happened with me was a dang wind. The wind was always blowing. But anyway, that's all I got to say about it.
Fiddler's Frolic is this weekend. That is in Hallettsville, but you'll find an ad for that in all 4 of our papers. So it'll tell you kind of times, events, who's playing, and what's going on.
I see you're having a fundraiser crawfish boil.
Yes, we are, and it's at the brewery, and of course the brewery will have other things going on, including some live music, and their spirits are now open for tasting, so go out there. All proceeds will go to support the Shiner Academic and Athletic Foundation.
You got a new business in town?
We do. I'm not sure that they're super new. It is Crown Hospice, but they are new to the chamber as a chamber member, and we're happy to have them. So thanks to those guys at Crown Hospice, especially for all they do. Their service is pretty important.
And this is kids that went to state in something I can't read.
Robotics. So they didn't get to place in the final, but they did make it there. And I think it's their first robotics team. So congrats to them. It's always good to pave those footsteps.
You bet. Let's see. We're scrolling on down. We're trying to keep these fairly short, folks, but we haven't had much success. I don't know if you say anything.
We're going to keep going. I think we may have passed it, but that's cool. The Chamber Lunch and Learn is this next Tuesday, so sign up for that. You can sign up online, and there's information about that in the paper. And, of course, Mr. Mark Luby's sports section.
Yeah, he writes about St. Paul had a loss to Sacred Heart, and those two get together just about every year, about every sport, and some win, some lose, but we support all of them no matter what.
Yeah, it's a good rivalry.
You bet. Yeah, you won't ever see a lot of fist fighting and stuff going on. And he's got a list of all these area championships. The Comanches win, pull away from the Horns. Is that Schulenburg Orange?
It is.
Yeah. Was your husband involved?
My husband is the softball one, and he had a good run. Those Comanches are hard to beat, but it's always good when you're in a tough district to stay tight. Murray, that's my daughter. We just totally missed it.
Well,
if I didn't talk about her, she'd be so upset. These are the 2 youth volleyball teams that played this weekend. They both placed 3rd in their respective volleyball tournaments, and most of those are made up of 5th and 6th graders. And so they're both playing up in their league. The 5th graders are playing in the 12U division, which they're all 11 and younger. And then the 6th graders are playing 13 and up, and they're actually 11 and 12. So, all right, and we're going to keep scrolling. For some reason, Murray's finger stopped working, so I'm scrolling. We don't know what that's about. But the bond election is coming up. This takes up quite a bit of your Gazette, guys. But it's really important to be informed about what we're voting for. and the important things that the school is requesting of their needs. So go through that. I know it seems like a lot, but it is important.
Yeah, it had a whole lot of notices, looked like. I guess that's what notices are. There was a lot of them. I didn't.
Yeah, it's all the bond and we had to do it in English and Spanish. So it's the bond twice. So the good news is you only have to read one or the other, whichever language you prefer. So.
All right. You got anything else for Shiner?
No. Always read Mr. Duff Wagner's Walters Museum. He's very, very intelligent on the history and does a great job writing that column. It's always interesting. I haven't got to read it yet either, so I'll
like I was saying last week, Michelle and I just got to look at these papers this morning, so we haven't read everything that's in there, so we'll leave it up to you.
There was a microchip drive, and if you missed it this week, it was this past Saturday. If you missed it, you can contact those numbers and still get your pet microchipped. It's very responsible if you're a pet owner. I actually took 2 of my 3 dogs because one was already microchipped to that, and they didn't cry or anything.
Well, good. I've read stories about dogs having those chips, and they might run off and find them miles and miles away because of that. I guess we're done with Shiner.
Yes, so.
And we're going to move on over now to the Hallettsville Tribune. And we have the same story about early voting that Jimmy Apple wrote. And an election was canceled by the Board of Trustees at Hallettsville Independent School District. All right.
Then we have Mr. and Mrs. HHS. These are 2 seniors that are voted by their peers to be Mr. and Mrs. HHS. So Mr. and Miss, right?
Yeah.
And but congrats to them. That's an honor to be voted by your peers to represent your school.
Can you read that?
Can I read it? Who they are?
Their names. Yeah.
Let me see. Ms. Hall High School by vote student body is Cameron Alamia and Emma Davenport.
All right. Yeah, you did well.
I did.
Yeah, that's a good picture. I don't know who took that. Oh, there it is. Chuck.
Oh,
no. If I'd have known that, I wouldn't have said that.
We gave him a lot of credit there.
Yeah, he did good. Okay. Let's scroll on. Now, this story by Jimmy Apple is Saguaro Country Lost in Fire. Now, this place is north of Hallettsville. I've never been there, but it was like family owned. And guys, it's kind of back in the woods. And a lot of people would go there just to play dominoes. And I know it was a landmark around here. So that's a shame that that happened.
Yeah, we hope they can rebuild, or at least the memories will stay alive. I heard it's their 3rd fire, but this one did cause the most damage. So.
Yeah, that looks like it's pretty bad from this picture.
So best of luck to them to move forward and hopefully move past this devastation.
And we got our little buddy Henry Joe Hank Town Cheddar, and as usual, he's got a whole lot of things about weddings and anniversaries. Can you read that trivia? That's the same trivia question he had last week.
Trivia question.
Oh.
So you have one more week to answer that. It looks like Mr. Gerlich. I think someone called in a little bit later, but so far Mr. Gerlich has been the only one to answer it. So get your name in there.
Yeah, I think Henry said he came in late and he was going to add that next time.
Yeah, so if you're the person that's not in there, don't worry, we have your name. It's coming.
Yeah. And then we had a gunshot sound near the high school campus. You know, folks got a little nervous as to what's been going on in this country lately. But come to find out, it was just a blown transformer. Everything's okay and nobody got hurt.
And we're thankful for that.
All right, you know something about this.
The Lavaca River cleanup is this Saturday in honor of Earth Day, and there's a lot of information how you can volunteer. I think if you want a shirt, you show up downtown, but all that information is in there. And the most important thing is if you have the free time, please volunteer. It's a great way to keep Lavaca County and the river looking great.
You bet. I see our National Weather Observer, Larry Rockbauer, has written a little article. What does he say there? Short on rain and long on wind?
Yes. So he's saying, but we're making up for the rain come now, April now.
Yeah, we are.
April showers are more like April rain.
And we have a story about the Texas Senate passing a $308 billion budget plan. And Commissioner Miller was a speaker at the April 12th Republican Women of Yoakum.
The grand jury did hand down 19 felony indictments. I think that's in most of your local papers. So you guys can check that out, of course, for yourself. And then we have the coloring contest winners. We had so many, and we all took an opportunity to vote here. Just please remember that it was a very hard decision. We thank all those who entered. They all did a really good job. Also remember that we have many men voting, so we had to go back in and kind of curtail it down to find the best, but they have a pretty good eye for
Yeah, well, many old men, and they probably about half of them couldn't color one of these things anyway.
Maybe we'll have a newspaper staff coloring
Oh,
contest.
that'd be horrible. But my favorite one of the bunch was that brown bunny.
Yeah, those guys, Lily Pushowski. Let me shout out to you, little girl. These guys here loved your brown bunny. It was hands down their favorite. So great job, sweetheart.
Yeah, did a good job, all of you, and we appreciate you taking the time.
Oh, and you can pick up your prizes starting tomorrow afternoon, so...
Now, what were the prizes? I don't know.
The first prize is $25 gift card. And then we have some toys and candy for the second and third winners. So first, second, and third. If you're in the paper, you get a prize.
All right. Well, congratulations to the winners, and we hope that the others will try again next time.
What's that word, Murray?
I couldn't say that
Charcuterie.
if somebody was pointing a gun to my head.
This was the art of charcuterie. I really want to read this article. I haven't got a chance. Murray caught me off guard and walked into the office pretty fast today. But I will tell you, it's a highly popular trend right now to make a charcuterie board, and I think it's going to go on our calendar next month. And you're going to be in charge. Right?
Yeah.
For those that don't know, we have a calendar. It's daily. We do something around here.
Yeah.
At least Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, not everybody plays that game, do they?
No, but Murray's getting better.
Yeah, she tries to tell us what color of clothes to wear, and usually the only reason I might do right is because that just happened to be what I put on that day.
Murray is actually beating Hank in the...
That's saying something, because I've never really beat Hank at anything, especially not talking. But here we go with the sports. As usual, Chuck Groff has got a good bunch of stories, too many for us to cover, but you just need to pick up your paper and check it out.
Yeah, I think all the districts are winding down for both the girls and boys, and definitely baseball and softball, so they'll be starting the playoffs. I think most of the teams made the playoffs, so congrats to them and best of luck in playoff play.
Okay, I was going to get you before I scroll too fast.
It's all right.
These young ladies, can you read their name?
Yeah, so Olivia Etzler and April Leopold became the third Lady Brahma doubles team to qualify for the state tournament.
All right.
So congrats to them for making a little bit of history.
You bet. But we got a ton of sports. He's got, I believe, 2 pages here, so you're just going to have to read it, folks, to see everything Chucky's got. School news. Band earned a division rating, and Ellisville High School hosted the CNA graduation ceremonies. I believe those for people that are going to be nurses.
Yeah, and so they're going to get to start working kind of in the nursing field, which is great to see if you like it and get a lot of experience.
Yeah. And then we got all these essay winners from Soil and Water Conservation District, and that's Jimmy's. Jimmy took all the pictures and wrote the cut lines. They do this every year. And we're scrolling on down on the iPad looking at the electronic versions. Our managing editor, Bobby Hariska, has got a story about lightning. It's pretty good.
Sure had a lot of it last week.
A lot of stuff in there. Classifieds as usual, every paper has them, and you'd be surprised what you might find in there that you didn't even know you needed. And then he's got another story, I'm talking about Bobby Hariska, about Mr. E.L. Moore over in Yoakum. And that's quite a lengthy article, but Mr. Moore, he he deserves all the credit because he's been big in the Yoakum community and into the sports part of it and other things. So you might want to just read that. We probably have it in the Yoakum paper. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I know it was the front page last week of one paper, and I would think it was the Yoakum, but
it probably was.
It was a long time since last week.
Yeah, a whole week, my God. Well, let's see then. I think we can move on over. Speaking of Yoakum, we can move on over to them now. Anything there that you want to talk about, Michelle?
There was a Public Safety Telecommunications Week, and so that is going to kind of give those guys a lot of credit. They help. I say they're kind of behind the scenes, but they play a very important role in making sure that everyone's getting to where they're going, basically. Okay,
and City of Yoakum also has a cleanup program. And they talk about the Fiddler's Frolic as well.
And then a closer look at YISD. That's hard to say. That just kind of tells you the improvements that the ISD is looking at needing, and it gives you a closer look to what some of those are and why they need it. And that's always a good insight. We don't go to school every day. Yeah. And as parents, you want to know, and it's sometimes awesome to get a clear picture of what they're facing in day-to-day challenges.
And we got a picture from the Lions Club holding their meeting, and the Rotary Club was hosting the Yoakum High School seniors. I'm not going to try to read all that. You just need to go look at it. One of my columns is in here, the Battle of San Jacinto, which happened. Is today the 21st, or was it yesterday?
No, we're only on the 19th, Murray.
No, I'm talking about when the battle actually happened. It was on April 21st.
But today's April 19th. So we got 2 more days.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Jumping the gun.
I'm glad you caught that. Anyway, that's about the Battle of San Jacinto. It gives you a little history of it. And I appreciate Yoakum getting that in there. We also have a solid ground article from Buddy Price, who's the owner of these newspapers. And what about that, Michelle?
And it looks like the Yoakum Little League is kind of advertising, or at least spotlighting, I guess is a better word, their Little League team. So the top one is their girls junior team, and then it goes on to their coach pitch team. So I'm guessing from here on out you're going to see a little bit of that, and congrats to that Tom Tom royalty. They placed third, and I'm guessing it was Poteet, correct? Yes, at the Poteet Festival. So they made quite a drive out there to enjoy some strawberries.
Did y'all go to that one?
We didn't. We did the fireman's barbecue this weekend.
And the Herald Times Sports, this is Mark Luby, of course, and he does a good job, just like Chuck does over here in Hallettsville. And I'm not going to read it all because there are too many, and some of them are real long. But you need to check it out. There's a whole lot of info there. What was that? Track and baseball and softball, I believe.
Yeah, a lot going on, for sure. And then the Special Olympics was hosted in Yoakum. This is awesome that they put it together. It's a great time for these kiddos to get out and participate in some track and field events and win them some respective awards. So I think everyone had a great day out there. So
those kids really get into those activities, and I'm glad they're having it for them. Sweet Home Auxiliary has a picture and a one-act play. I think you talked about that last week.
Yeah.
And then it looks like we got another one of my columns, and this is about a lady here in Lavaca County that was here when Hallettsville and Shiner was first built. So if you hadn't seen that, it's been in the other papers, but it's online at lavacacountytoday.com, just like most all of mine. So you can check that out.
Murray's been paying them extra in Yoakum for all these articles. No, Murray does a great job.
Yeah, maybe I need to start paying Hallettsville.
Right. He only works here.
No, I appreciate all the coverage, and I hope you folks get something out of those. I really enjoy writing.
And we do joke, too, that, And Murray understands when his articles don't get in just as much as, guys, if your news didn't get in one week, we are going to do our best to make sure it's in the next week. Sometimes it's really just a space issue.
It's all about space, and it's all about advertising. You know, a lot of people don't know that these papers run on advertising, and that's what drives their page count. You know, I've had people say, well, why didn't you just add pages where you could get all my stuff in there? And I said, well, if you want to run an ad, a big ad, you know, we'll do that. But that's what drives the page count. So if your article didn't make it, it was just because there wasn't enough room. And we apologize for that. And we always try to get them in the next week or so. We're going to move on over. You through with your?
I'm through.
And we're going over to the Molten Eagle. I can't read that, Michelle. Can you see that?
Which one?
About the baby.
Yeah, it just basically said that a few weeks ago there was an article about a baby who had an unexpected death, of course, and there was a investigation, as with anything, and as of right now, they don't see that it was any foul play. It's still somewhat under investigation, but our deepest sympathy to the family of that young child.
Yeah, condolences to them. And we have the early voting, and we have the Moulton Independent School District's cheerleaders announced, and we have their picture on the front page. So check that out.
Best of luck to those girls next year.
You bet. And we got that grand jury that you were talking about. I didn't read this. It's out of Fayette County. I think they had a narcotics sting over there. So you might want to read that.
It's pretty close. Fayette County is just a hop, skip, and a jump from Moulton, especially.
It isn't far. And then I've got a story in there about Moulton's World War II observation tower. Now, I didn't really know that tower existed.
Hank did.
Well, after asking. But then he said he wasn't sure he knew all about it. But needless to say, Hank told me, he said, I wasn't born when that happened. I said, yeah, you were born. You're probably about 3 or 4 years old. But anyway, it's an interesting story. And I actually got that off of researching through some historical markers here in Lavaca County. And this is a neat story, I think. They had a line of these observation towers. They had 14,000 of them around the country, and they were manned by 1.5, I believe, billion. And it's real interesting because the story tells about how it was built, how big it was, where it's at, and these watchers had been given a graduation certificate and a lapel pin, and they were instructed at Randolph Air Base in San Antonio. And I had to search and search. I found 3 of these pins. I only put 1 in this article, and it's actually in color. It's red. But there were 2 more because there were 2 divisions. There was the ground observers, and then there was the alert observers. So there was two parts to it. So these folks could have been in either one. But anyway, if you find out about that or your family has it, well, we'd like to know about it, so give us a shout.
Yeah, so you're about, if you were on one of these towers, how old would you be?
Well,
100?
Yeah, probably, because my dad was born in 1920, and he went into the service in 1940, so he was 20 years old. So these people might have been 23, 24.
So here's a shout out. If you know anyone that was part of this, and either your grandpa, your dad, that may have been a World War II tower watcher, observation tower watcher in Moulton, Texas, you call the Tribune because we want to talk to you.
Yeah, and these were all civilians. We know a lot of military people served, but this was all on a volunteer basis. So anyway, we'll check that out if you get a chance. We may have already talked about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They gave $2,500. I don't know when it was in the other papers. Like, weeks go fast, but again, a shout out to them. They're helping Community Connections, which is our senior citizen programs in the area.
Yeah.
And so that's a great thing. We know Hank enjoys those senior citizens meals.
Yes, he does. every day.
We get kind of jealous. They do sound pretty good sometimes. There's the menu if you want to see what they're having.
Yeah, got the menu. Got the Texas State Champion Fiddlers Frolic Head. Going to be held, I believe, this weekend.
Yes, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So try to get down one day to Hallettsville and watch it.
And we have the Molten Eagle Sports. The kittens place second in a district track meet. And then they fall in district games versus Weimar and Flatonia, Weimar JV. And we have Buddy Price's Solid Ground article again. Do you have anything, Michelle?
I don't.
From Molten? I think.
Oh, the hail. I love the hail. I mean, I don't really love it, but it's very amazing.
It's okay if it stays small. But when it gets like that, I don't know, what does that look like, about golf ball or orange or something? But where did that fall? Was that in Shiner or was that
We had it in Shiner. I think this is talking about it in Molten. So Shiner and Molten must have both got some, or at least that kind of area. But yes, it turned orange fast, and there it was, coming down hard as it can be. So,
all right, folks, as far as I'm concerned, we've done them all. Is that right, Michelle?
I think so.
Michelle has to keep up with me because I sometimes forget. But you got any closing remarks before we leave?
I don't, except it's a lot going on. That crawfish is going on this weekend. Texas Fiddlers Frolic. I was going to talk about it. Shady Oaks did an ad this week. So thanks to them. It's kind of their first time advertising with us, but they're having a plant sale next week and some nachos. So plants and nachos.
You can elaborate on that if you got more information.
I don't know. It's in the bulletin paper for sure. Check it out. I think it's next Thursday. But all of the proceeds go to support Shady Oak Nursing Home and their residents. So that's a great cause.
Yes, it is.
I can't really go buy plants because I kill them. But I have one tomato growing. It's amazing.
Well, that's like Hank. What he does to me is he plants this big garden and he says, I'm going to give you some tomatoes. And I said, that's good, Hank. I'll be looking forward to it. But Hank gives me one tomato and sells the rest.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
He told me he was going to give me some, too.
You better not count on that. Anyway, we've talked about Hank enough. We'll let him rest till next week, and I'll let Michelle say her goodbyes.
All right. Well, thanks again for listening to us all. I do want a shout out that if you guys want to enter my new column idea of Where's Hank in our paper, it's like going to be, we're just going to place him randomly in the paper and y'all guys are going to find him. If you think this is a great idea, give us a shout out about it because we are trying to convince our publisher to do that right now. Okay, maybe not we, but I am.
Well,
it sounds fun.
Are you through?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I didn't know about that.
I just came up with it last night.
Oh, okay. For those that don't know who Hank is, it's Henry Joe Yashek. And he's worked for this paper probably 50 years or more. And he also works at Hofer's. He's that happy little fellow usually on the front register. And we love him.
We do.
But anyway, that's all from me. And we will be here with you next week. We appreciate you listening. And we'll see you then. Goodbye.
Have a great weekend.